As stated by Floyd, interpersonal communication is characterized by the communication that occurs between two people within the context of their relationship, and that, as it evolves, helps them to negotiate and define their relationship. There are all sorts of types of relationships, including acquaintances, classmates, coworkers, and family members. As stated in the definition, relationships will evolve over time. This happens as time goes by and people get to know each other through the experiences they have. Within each relationship, people will talk about different topics and share different nonverbal behaviors. These qualities of a relationship help to define the type of relationship it is. More specifically, all relationships are affected by interpersonal perception, which is the process of making meaning from the people in our environment and our relationships with them. This process of making meaning from those around us can be categorized into 3 steps: selection, organization, and interpretation. Our perceptions are also determined by what other people say and do. The first step of the interpersonal communication process is known as selection, which is the process of attending to a certain stimulus. It starts off by one or more of your senses being stimulated, causing you to notice a situation. This can be something as simple as hearing someone walk behind you. Most often in everyone's lives, there are multiple stimuli which cannot be processed at once. So your mind and body will tend to choose one stimuli to attend to. The next step within the process involves classifying the stimulus, which is called organization. Our minds will put each perceived stimulus into one of 4 schemas. The first schema would be physical constructs, which involves objective characteristics such as a person's age, height, and body shape. This can also include how someone views their personal physical attributes. In an experiment done by Dove in 2013, several women were asked to describe their appearance to a well-known forensics artist. There was also a curtain to separate them to ensure the full accuracy of the experiment. Along with describing themselves, each woman's appearance was also described by a stranger that had met earlier that day. Each drawing was then lined up to compare their personal perception with the perception of the person they had met. And the picture of which the stranger described the woman proved to be much more beautiful and accurate than the person describing themselves personally. This experiment shows how people's perception can become altered by their environment around them, such as the media.
According to Professor McLeod, a stereotype is a generalized statement or an opinion about a specific group of people. Stereotyping is usually an easier way to organize certain people and also kind of shortened version of the perception process. This is because it will skip the part of getting to know the person. Role constructs focuses on people's social and professional position, like noticing someone, such as like a lawyer or a father or a teacher. Interaction constructs involves behaviors such as noticing someone who is outgoing or shy or sarcastic. According to Paul Jung, the halo effect causes one trait to drastically color your perception of all other traits. If someone is often outgoing and funny, you may associate that person with being very successful in their career. Psychological constructs emphasizes people's thoughts and feelings, such as anger, sadness, and worrisome. According to Dr. Nort, when a first impression is negative, the expectation is particularly difficult to overcome. This is generally an impact of the whole process of the perception if one interaction can hold so much weight over the rest. The final step in the perception process is an interpretation, which is known process for assigning meaning to that information that is being attended to or organized. With taking those chosen stimuli and then figuring out what it means for us, there are certain factors that we pay attention when interpreting that information. First is personal experiences, which helps you assign that actual meaning to a behavior. Second is knowledge, which is actually interpreting their actions. And lastly, third is the closeness of that relationship, how you interpret that person's behavior. People that are in close relationships tend to have conflict differently than other relationships would. Conflict directly affects messages that are exchanged between each partner because it is likely that they will disagree on certain aspects of their life which they may share. This includes how they may spend time together, how they manage money and raise children, etc. More often in close relationships, emotions will be involved in exchanging of messages. This happens often because each partner knows the other partner very well and expresses their true feelings because of day-to-day and also just having that comfortable sense. Since they spend so much time together, they also engage in instrumental communication, including day-to-day, as I said, such as making dinner. Disagreements will arise when the partners also disagree on the division of certain responsibilities.
Okay, so with personal traits and tendencies that affect our own relationships, such as family and close friends, I often feel more comfortable talking with family and friends, obviously, because I know them well and I will trust them. And also my body language, I will tend to face towards them instead of looking down or having my arms crossed if I feel uncomfortable. But sometimes it simply just feels good to me, and my parents will recognize that I'm not closing myself off. I'm just simply sitting comfortably, and I will often talk more when I am talking to someone that I know very well. I can be a bit socially awkward with people that I don't know as well.
And as far as me, somewhat similar to Austin, I think it depends on the individual or the person that you're interacting with. However, I think as far as me, when I'm interacting with friends, family, kind of romantic relationships, I'm usually more casual or more comfortable as far as maybe my tone or my own body language, whether, kind of like crossing of the arms or more open and kind of just laid back, versus like a first interaction or meeting someone when you're really focused and eye contact and trying to really soak up everything that that person is saying. And that concludes our webinar.
And we're excited. So with the Dove experiment with the sketches, that was directed by Carrie J. in 2013, and it was produced by the Ogilvy and Mather ad agency. And with our stereotypes reference, that was the author was Saul McLeod in 2008 and produced by Simply Psychology. And with our halo effect, that was written by Paul June in 2014, produced by Motivated Mastery. And with our first impressions portion, that was given by the author Rick Nord in 2011 and produced by Max Planck Institute. And finally, the book by Corey Floyd in 2011, produced by McGraw-Hill. Thank you.
Thank you.